Hello, welcome to Roly Poly Weight Loss. I'm your host, Roly Poly, and we are officially starting day one. Yes, that's right, day one is here. We're gonna do it. To start with, we are going to get a before, weight, measurements, photographic evidence, all that jazz. So I have here the dreaded scale, and I'm going to step on it, and then even more scary, I'm going to announce my current weight to all of the internet. Okay, so I am 273.6 pounds. Scary. 273.6 pounds. Now, I'm also going to do another very scary thing, which is to show my before self. So, this is it. As you can see, I have the, if I could just cut right here, just get rid of all of this jiggly here that you can see that I have, and just right down the back. That would be the best if I could do that. Just do some trimming right there. Wouldn't do much for these. I've got all that jiggly that I got going on there. Or these, as you can see, these are the big guns here. Got all this going on. I will say though, my calf, not bad, not a lot of jiggle going on there. So you got to find one thing to be proud of. I'm proud of those calves. They are not bad, but the rest, is what it is. So this is my requisite sad, roly-poly, unhappy before photo. This is me right now. And it is sad and unhappy and roly-poly. But there is a more important word in that sentence, and that's before. And it's gonna change. I'm not gonna be this way anymore. And that's scary, but it's time. And that's the part I invite you to join me on. You may recall that a while back, the Last Week Tonight host, John Oliver, one of my favorite comedians, started a campaign to share our worst photos with the goal and hashtag of mutually assured humiliation to make the internet a safer place. As he put it, if we all put our worst photo into the world together, none of us will ever be in a position to judge anyone else ever again. I believe in the same idea here. I'm sharing my before, and I will also post it on my Twitter and Tumblr with the hashtag #BeforeTogether. So let's do this. Take your own photos. Take your own videos. Share your scale shots. It's scary, I know, but I did it first. So join me. Post your own befores with the hashtag #BeforeTogether, and together we'll all work through this process. Because I think that scarier than sharing what you look like right now is doing nothing and never having an after to compare it to. So like I said, submit your befores and we'll all get to an after together. Now, on to the exercising. Okay. Timer. Okay. And this is day one. Day one exercising.
oh my gosh, it's here, we're gonna do it. So the thing with day one is the hardest day because yesterday wasn't day one. Yesterday you were your normal roly-poly self living your normal life. And day one means that something changed today. It is so easy to say, tomorrow I'm going to start working out. Tomorrow I'm going to start eating better. Tomorrow I'm going to lose weight. And then tomorrow, it's so easy not to do any of those things. Because why not just do what I did yesterday? Yesterday worked, right? I mean, I might have been unhappy, sure, but it worked. I got through the day, didn't I? Actually making that change. Actually saying, yes, I am going to start exercising today. And in fact, this is me exercising. That's hard. Super hard. I have had so many day zeros. I have had so many days when I've put on my calendar or my schedule or my to-do list for tomorrow, exercise, get up early, go on your bike, go to the pool, get down to the gym. And I have had so many days where, guess what happened the next day? Supposedly day one? Yeah, it didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. I binged on Netflix, or I got lost on Tumblr, or I read a book, or I went shopping, or I took a nap. And sometimes it isn't even bad or lazy things that stop you from having a day one. You have to work late, or a friend asked you to help them with something, or the kids needed extra help on their homework, or a family member called to talk. Any number of things can happen that make day one not happen. So, actually making day one happen is huge. That's your first step. That's where you say, yes, I'm tired of being roly-poly, and today I'm gonna do something about it. I'm not just gonna think about it. I'm not just gonna talk about it. I'm not just gonna plan. I'm gonna do. And for me, one of the struggles I faced with day one is this exercising stuff. It takes stuff to exercise. Without that stuff, or without, going to a gym, day one is a lot harder to come by. And gyms can be so intimidating. I hated working out at an actual gym when I used to go. I assumed everyone was judging me for being roly-poly because I couldn't see anyone else who looked like me in there. Now, I'm sure that whoever those people were in that gym weren't paying the slightest bit of attention to me in reality, but it felt like they must be judging me. And that feeling of uncomfortableness made me not want to go to the gym. So why go to the gym? Why have a day one when you can just stay home in your comfortable life with no one judging you, except yourself? So one common suggestion, if you have no exercise equipment or gym membership or just don't want to go to the one you have, is to just take a walk. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't need any equipment. Just go do it. And if you can, awesome. Go for it. Walking is great. But for me, I have joint problems. And I've had a lot of problems with my knees and ankles. Exercises like walking, jogging, running are all impact exercises, and those hurt my knees and ankles. If I'm coming from 0, I have to work my way up to those kinds of exercises. Because if I'm in pain, I'm less likely to have a day 1, especially because just exercising in the first place is enough to make my complacent roly-poly body want to collapse. As much as my body doesn't like the idea of carrying all this weight, it also doesn't like the idea of actually losing it. So I am much more likely to exercise with something low impact. And I'm much more likely to be physically able to do it for more than one day in a row. It makes me more likely to have a day 1, and then it makes me more likely to have a day 2. Now, this actual device is wonderful. I got it on Amazon, which I will link to below. It is called a pedal exerciser, and I got it for under $30. And it was the best purchase I ever made, at least where exercise things are concerned. Now, I bought this for a specific reason, which was that I actually have an elliptical machine. I will cover ellipticals on another day, but they are also low impact, which is great. Unfortunately, one night, in the dark, I stubbed my toe so hard on my elliptical that I broke it. Yes, I broke my toe on my elliptical machine. And isn't that just deliciously ironic? Everyone I told thought it was fantastically hilarious. So, I was told by my doctor that I couldn't walk on my foot for 6 weeks. I had to have one of those mobility scooters that I knelt on because I wasn't allowed to put any weight on it. And at the time, I was doing a decent amount of walking or ellipticaling in a week. And I didn't want to lose that progress. So I did some Googling. That led me to the pedal exerciser, which, as you can see, is basically just a bike's pedals on a little stand. You can use it with any chair, as long as the height is about right. With a higher chair, you can go with an L shape with your knees, like a standard bike. With a low chair, you can also get into a position kind of like a recumbent exercise bike, with your legs pushed out in front of you. Whoosh. You can go slow. You can go fast. And you can go at a moderate pace. So for me, I use this pretty diligently during my 6 weeks without walking, and I still love it. It is cheap, it is small and light, and easy to tuck away for the day, out of sight, if you don't like the idea of having a huge home gym in the corner. So if you only buy one thing to start this process, I recommend a pedal exerciser. Another cool feature is that you can use this with your hands. So if you can't pedal with your legs right now, you can also put it on a table and do it with your arms to get some exercise that way. Or do both, one after the other. This is a lower and upper body workout machine. How many machines can you get that provide upper and lower body workout for under $30? I think one. And another great feature is that you can do this under a desk or a table if the clearance is high enough that you don't hit your knee every time. So again, recumbent or high table. I've also set it up next to a table to put my laptop onto. And you can work or check your emails or watch Netflix, whatever you want to do. You can read a book or catch up on games on your phone. Your hands are free, unless, of course, you're doing an upper body workout with it. So, as you can see, I have my chair here for my water and my phone. So you've got that space around you that you can set up. So that's another great thing about the pedal exerciser. Your upper body is a lot more stable compared to some other exercise machines, and you can do a bit of multitasking. One thing you have to be aware of, though, is that if you're on a slick surface, like this lovely laminate floor, then the pedals will inch forward over time. And every so often, you need to gently tug them back into place. And you need to be aware of your posture while doing this. It's totally possible to scoot down and be at an angle where you're curling your back as you go. And that is not good. When I say recumbent, I mean you have a short chair so your legs naturally go out while you're sitting up straight. You do not want to be in this curve. You'll have a lot of lower back pain if you do this, and I speak from experience. While it's great to sit there and watch Netflix or read a book, if your chair is a little too comfy and you're a little too distracted, you could find yourself slumped over like this, going pretty slow like this, and then you're not really getting the most out of your exercise, are you? So, make sure you're sitting upright in your chair. You've got this in a good spot so your knees aren't hitting your chin or sticking out straight ahead of you. And make sure you're in a position where you can actually exercise. Okay? And then you also might, if you have something set up beside you, you might turn towards your device and you can rock a bit, putting pressure on one leg unevenly and throwing off your gait, which is also not good, as your chiropractor will tell you if you have one. And I tell you all of these things because I have done all of these things in my 6 weeks of trial and error while I couldn't walk. And I want you to learn from my mistakes. So just every so often check yourself, see where you're at. Do a little mental inventory. Do I need to scoot the pedals closer because they've slid away? Do I need to adjust my posture? Have I shifted a little sideways? Have I slowed down below where I want to be? Just check in with yourself and adjust as needed. So, on our day one checklist, we have picking the right equipment, doing our exercise safely. Now we have staying hydrated, right? You have seen me drinking from my water bottle at semi-regular intervals. So hydration, 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 hydration. If you don't drink water, you will not make it through this. Your body will not react well at all. I am going to get into hydration on its own day. So for now, suffice to say, just do it, okay? All right. So, last thing on the checklist is time. How much time should you exercise? How often? Well, there are two answers to that. In an ideal world and today. And those numbers are different. Today, we're focused on just getting to day one and getting through day one. This is not the day to go for a 2-hour hike or spend 90 minutes on the pedal exerciser. It's just not. This is a time for starting a habit. The point of today is to have a day one, to get past that hurdle, and to make it painless enough that you are actually able to have a day two. If you push yourself to your breaking point today, are you going to do it all again tomorrow? Heck no. If you go at it hard 5 days in a row, then on Saturday, when you get to sleep in and don't have to go to work, are you going to do day 6? If you go so hard and fast that you hurt yourself, are you going to be able to have a day or two, or a 5 or 6? Heck no! We are not here to lose all this weight in a month. That just isn't reasonable. It took years to put on this weight, and it isn't coming off in days. There is no reason to push that hard. Believe it or not, that was 15 minutes. The most important thing on day 1, and to some extent week 1 and month 1, is to form the habit. To carve out that chunk of day when you can actually exercise, and to form that habit of doing it, and to get past the hurdle of day 1. The most important thing is to be able to say, this is day 1. So to start with, we are taking a slow and steady wins the race kind of approach. We're going to exercise 3 times a week, and for week 1, we will exercise for 15 minutes. I did a tiny extra because I had stopped and demonstrated. So 15 minutes, and then we'll bump that up in week 2 and so on until we hit our ideal target time and days. So I will post videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to start, but you pick the 3 days that work best for you in the week. Okay? So we hit 15 minutes. We did it. We exercised for 15 minutes. And you know what that means? That means that today is day 1. We did it. And we didn't kill ourselves doing it. I can feel in my calves that I did work out. I pushed enough that I feel it. Not enough that I feel pain. Just a little tingly. I can get up and walk away. I am not going to collapse in a puddle on the floor right now. And for day 1, that's good enough. Because, you know what that means? There will be a day 2. So with that done, I'm going to finish my water here. Because hydration is important. And then I will see you for day 2. Okay? This has been Roly Poly Weight Loss. As always, I am your host, Roly Poly, reminding you to post your before together photos and videos and join me next time.